So I just want to do a quick recap. When we did our last lesson, surface area and volume, we looked at two particular shapes. We looked at a rectangular prism and a cylinder. So for the first part of this lesson, I just want you guys to try work out the surface area as well as the volume of these two shapes. So surface area and volume of these two shapes. Okay, a reminder, formulas are given to you. So I'm going to give you the surface area formula. See here. That's for a rectangular prism. And then volume is length times breadth times height. We dealt with both these formulas on Monday. And then on the cylinder side of things, our surface area formula is, 2 pi r squared plus 2 times pi times radius times height. We are always going to use pi is equal to 3,142 because that is how it is asked in the exam. And our volume formula is pi times r squared times by height. Okay, so quickly do the surface area of each shape as well as the volume. Remember the correct units. Okay, do we have any answers? How about the surface area for a rectangular prism? Now I can see all the answers coming in. Shells, we're just gonna have to check when we go through it. I think we might have left out one number there. Nice, Oleka. Nice, Bukamo, Musa, and Kazimla. Yes, guys. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the surface area of the rectangular prism. Now remember, surface area is working out the area of every single side. Rectangular prisms have 6 sides. So each part of the formula accounts for 2 of the sides. So the first part of the formula works out the area of the top as well as the bottom of this shape. Then we have the front and the back of the shape in the middle of the formula, and the last part of the formula works out the area of the 2 sides. Okay, so we just had to plug in or substitute the values into the formula. Each value appears twice. So that's one way to check that you haven't confused the sides. And you should get an answer of 1,102 meters squared. Surface area is area, so we square it. Well done. All the answers I saw there were correct. What about volume of this rectangular prism? Do we have answers for that? Volume is length times breadth times height. Nice and easy. Remember, volume is what's inside the shape. How much space is inside the shape? How much the shape can hold? Yes, yes, yes. Nice answers. Well done. So we say length times breadth times height. So it is 29 times 14 times 15, which gives us 6,090 meters cubed. Volume is cubed. Okay, so Bukamo, just careful there, it's meters cubed. But well done for remembering the unit. Okay, and let's go to the cylinder. Surface area of the cylinder. So like I said, we're always going to use 3,142 instead of the pi button on our calculator. Okay, this formula requires a radius. They gave us, the diameter. So I have to divide by 2, which is 0.75 inches. You need to show this working out. They will give you at least 1 mark for realizing that they gave you the diameter and you need to work out the radius. Okay, so then you put that into the formula. Hi. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so this was just a recap of what we did on Monday. These are basic rectangular prisms, basic cylinders. Everything's been given to us. The only thing that we need to take note of with cylinders, they love to give you the diameter. So quite often you'll need to remember to work out the radius. Other than that, you just put everything into the formula. Okay. Then towards the end of the last lesson, I gave you optional homework. I wanted to go through it, but we didn't have enough time. So I'm going to go through this quickly because I think some of you might have tried this question. So it says, Cranberry cheese comes in a square container with a side length of 5 centimeters. So if we just break down what has been said there, Cranberry cheese in a square container. So we know it is a square. And if they say side length of 5, means every side is going to be 5 centimeters because it is a square. And it's got a depth, in this instance, depth, well, in every instance, depth and height are the same thing. Okay, so that is the same as our height of 1,5 centimeters. Giggling cow cheese comes in a cylindrical container with a diameter of 7 centimeters and a depth or height of 2 centimeters. Which container will require the least amount of cardboard for the cheese box? Okay, so we have 2 types of cheeses. The first cheese comes in a square box. The second type of cheese comes in a cylindrical box. Now, they're asking which container will require the least amount of cardboard for the cheese. So what are they actually asking us to work out? If we think about the cardboard that goes around the cheese, are they asking us to work out area, perimeter, surface area, volume of these boxes? No worry, Leah. We just started the homework question, but we did do a little bit of a recap before this. So can we agree that we are working out the surface area? Because we're working out all the sides of the box, whether it's a square box or a cylindrical box. So it is the surface area. The cardboard makes up the outside sides of the cheese. Okay, so let's have a look. Which container will require the least amount of cardboard? So now that I know we're working out surface area, let's look at the first type of cheese. Okay, so the first one is Cranberry cheese. Okay, that is a square container. So our surface area is going to be 2 times length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. Okay, so it'll be 2. Our length is 5 centimeters. Our width is 5 centimeters plus 2 times our length is 5. Our height is the same as depth is 1,5 plus 2 times 5 times 1,5. So this accounts for all the sides. Remember, the cardboard is going to cover all the sides of the cheese. So top, bottom, side, front and back. So that gives you a surface area of 80 centimeters squared. Okay, then our giggling cow cheese. That is a cylindrical box or container. So our surface area formula for a cylinder is 2 pi r squared plus 2 times pi times r times h. So it's 2 times 3,142. Again, we've been given the diameter, so we need to work out our radius. Radius is 7 divided by 2, which gives us 3,5. So I've got 2 times pi times our radius of 3,5 squared plus 2 times 3,142 times 3,5, and our height is 2 centimeters. Okay, and if you work that out, you'll get 120,97 centimeters squared. But have I answered the question? The question asks, which container will require the least amount of cardboard? So we can say, therefore, the Canberra cheese. Requires less cardboard. Okay, so again, this question focused on the two shapes we've been dealing with the entire time. Okay, it's just the way that they asked the question this time. So when they talk about packaging generally, we are talking about surface area. We're going to need to work out the surface area. So the cardboard to make these boxes, how much cardboard, those are all our surfaces. So we know that it's surface area. Okay, just asked in a very different way. Do we have any questions with this one? Okay, so we're going to look at a similar question, but we just need to adjust things. So still cylinder and a rectangular prism. Let's have a look at question 2. Sunny and Johnny are best friends. They are planning to celebrate their birthdays by having one party. Sunny has decided that she wants a round carrot cake covered in cream cheese frosting, while Johnny has decided to have a chocolate rectangular cake covered in caramel. Okay. Okay, let me quickly go up. For those of you that did not get the answers, quickly take a screenshot for me. Okay, so not a lot of important information in that little backstory. However, all the important information is in our diagrams. We've got our round carrot cake. They've given us the diameter and the height. Then we've got our chocolate rectangular cake. We've got our length, breadth, and height given to us. So, question A says, determine the total surface area that will be used for the frosting of Sunny's cake. So now this is a slightly different question because we now need to think about this question, or think about the cake in your head. Frosting, the icing on your cake. Do we put it on all sides of the cake? So it's a little bit of a trick question. Do we put icing on the bottom of our cakes? No, we don't. So we need to work out the surface area where the frosting is actually going to go. So we know it's going to go onto the top of our cake. And we know it's going to go around the sides, just not the bottom. Okay, so let's have a look. Surface area of a cylinder is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r times height. So I'm just going to quickly break this down for you. This part of my formula is the area of two circles. Remember, area of a circle is pi r squared. That's the area of a circle. Can you see this part of my formula says 2 pi r squared? So that's us working out the area of the top and the area of the bottom of my cylinder. And then this part of the formula works out the sides of the cylinder. So this is the side of the cylinder. And this part of the formula works out the top and the bottom of the cylinder. So I'm just going to adjust this formula. And I'm just going to say pi r squared, because we're just working out the surface area of one circle, just the top circle, because the bottom circle is not going to have any icing. So I'm going to take one of those circles out of the equation. And then the rest stays the same, because we're going to put icing on the sides of the cake. So the only change I made there is that instead of timesing by 2, I've just got the area of one circle, because the icing does not go onto the bottom circle of the cake. So yes, sometimes they can ask you this in an exam. So you need to know how to adjust the formula. So you can have a cylinder with both top and bottom, which will be our normal formula. You can work out the surface area of a cylinder with just either the top or the bottom. Or if it's like a toilet roll, for example, there's no top, there's no bottom. You don't include this part at all then. So if they ask you to work out the surface area of the toilet roll, there's no top or bottom, so we take out the circle formula completely. Okay, so I went off track a little bit there. So it's pi times the radius. We're going to need to work out our radius. Like I said, they love giving you the diameter. The diameter is 30, so we divide by 2, which gives us 15. So times by 15 squared plus 2 times pi times our radius times the height. There's a lot of 15s there. So that means the surface area that the frosting or the icing is going to cover is 2,120.65 centimeters squared. Let me just check the decimals. I rounded in my working out. Sorry, you are correct, Kuketso. Thank you. Okay, now keeping this in mind, let's test the same thinking for question B. Why is it doing this? Question B, determine the total surface area covered by caramel on Johnny's cake. So now Johnny's cake is the square cake. And again, we're looking at the icing. So we are missing a side to our rectangular prism. What side are we missing? The bottom. So remember our surface area formula is 2 times length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times height times width. Okay, so this part of my formula works out the top and bottom of my rectangular prism. The length time, because if we look at it from the top, this is what the cake looks like. That is my length, that is my width. Okay, the middle part is the front and the back of my rectangular prism. And then the last bit of the formula are the two sides. So now I need to adjust this formula to account for the fact that the icing is not going to be at the bottom of the cake. So that means it's going to change the first part because it's not at the bottom. So instead of saying 2 times length times width, it's just 1 times length times width because it's just the top. The bottom is not going to have icing, so there's no surface area to work out there. So it just becomes length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times height times width. Okay, so sometimes with these surface area questions, you're going to have to think about the situation at hand and what is happening to that object. Does it have a top? Does it have a bottom? What is there a missing side? And then we need to take that side out of our formula. Okay. So let's quickly go back to our dimensions. The length is 50, the breadth is 20, the height is 8. So I'm going to quickly substitute those amounts in. So it's 50 times 20 plus 2 times 50 times 8 plus 2 times 20 times 8. Okay, so these are the higher level type questions when it comes to surface area. Does it make sense? Did the explanation help? How do we feel about these two questions? On track, cool. So because of time constraints, I'm not going to do the next two questions that relate to the cake. It's just working out costing. I'm going to look at the same scenario, but with volume. Okay, I just want to quickly, guys, if you need to take a screenshot of the answers, and I'll quickly go back to the question. Okay, there's the question. Okay, so let's have a look at Johnny and Sunny's cakes again. So same situation. First question. Determine the volume of each cake. So I'm going to ask you guys to quickly try that. Same two shapes we've been dealing with, a cylinder and a rectangular prism. Calculate the volume of each. Okay, we have any answers? Let me see them. Okay. Unless you just check decimals there for the first one. Nice answers. Nice, nice. Yes, awesome. Okay, and we're all remembering our units. Fantastic. Okay, so volume of this cylindrical cake or the round cake. Okay, so volume is equal to pi r squared times height. Pi is 3,142. Our radius is 15. We did work it out earlier. 30 divided by 2, which is 15. And then we times by the height, which is 15. And you get 10,604,25 centimeters cubed. Then volume of the rectangular cake is length times breadth times height. So it's 50 times by 20 times by 8. And that gives you 8,000 centimeters cubed. Nice. Okay. We're getting some feedback now. I thought I was the only one here. Thanks, guys. Perfect answers. Volume is a lot nicer to deal with. Okay. So as you can see with surface area and volume, I can use the same shapes over and over again, the same scenario, but ask you to work out surface area and work out volume. Remember, surface area is the outside of the shape, all the surfaces, and volume is the inside of the shape, the space inside the shape. Okay, let's have a look at question 2. Another volume question. Ellie wants to make a new pencil holder. She has a choice of an open cylindrical holder or an open rectangular holder. Okay, so they've given us the dimensions. Which container has the greatest volume? So I'm going to ask you guys to quickly try work that out. Yes, okay, I'm seeing the answers coming in. And to look at that beautiful answer. Finished it from start to finish. Gave me the 2 volumes and answered the question. Which one has the greater volume? That's what we wanted to find out. Nice. Yes, guys, you're on fire. Volume seems to be the one. Yes, Coquette, so nice. Okay, so looking at the cylindrical holder, the volume is pi r squared times height, so it's 3,142 times our radius, and that was given to us for a change, times height, and that gives you 1,178.25 centimeters cubed. And then volume of the rectangular prism is length times breadth times height, which is 10 times 8 times 15, which gives us 1,200 centimeters cubed. And then we answer the question, therefore, the rectangular, sorry, okay, so something like that could be for at least 3 marks, working out the volume of each and then actually answering the question. They might throw a method mark in or 2. So make sure you show all your working out and actually answer the question. Okay, how do we feel about surface area and volume after today's lesson? Are we going to be doing it in our revision classes? Nice, very positive. That's awesome. Good, nice. I'm really surprised at how you guys handled that cake question or how you understood it. That's quite a difficult one, so that's amazing. That's really, really good. Okay, awesome.